Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to your life path for 2021 readings. So, before we go into it, a few words about the year, or should I say, about the energy of the year 2021. So, many of you will remember that when we got into 2020, I did a video for the year ahead, and I remember saying specifically to everybody, it was going to be challenging, it was going to be tough. There were probably going to be things that we weren't ready for, that we hadn't foreseen, so to speak, and here we are on the other end of it. So I want to put this little blurb at the beginning of each one of these videos, just to give you kind of an idea of the year 5, right? So when you consider that each number vibration is kind of like a response or a differentiation or a divergence away from the predecessor's energy. The 4 year was about restriction, limitation, challenge. It was about repetition. It was about sticking with things. It was about working through things. It was about, the 4 energy, the 2020 is a 4 year, is about, the foundations. It's about the things that are rigid. A box can either be used as a step to take you to the next level, or it can be used as a prison, right? It can, it has both functions. So on the other side of that, we've got 2021, which is a 5 year. The number 5 is about freedom, liberation, energy, being dynamic. It's about passion. It's about vibrancy. It's about the sensual and the sexual. The 5 year is often, in terms of the personal year 5, it's often been called the sex, drugs and rock and roll year. Now, obviously, I'm not, condoning the drugs part. I'm just, if that's your thing, if that's what floats your boat, then please feel free. What I'm saying to you is this energy is vastly different to the year before. Now, what does that mean? It means that you may very well want and need more travel, more adventure, more sex, more sensual pleasures in your life. You may want to try new things. You may be stepping out of the box, and we're going to see this across the board. Now, remember, 2021, it's the year for everybody, right? So regardless of what your life path number is, regardless of what your personal year number is, the energy of the year itself is the number 5. So what are the things that we're likely to encounter there? What's the big word, the one word that sums up the 5 energy is change. It is the energy of change, the energy of difference, the energy of liberation and freedom, as I mentioned. Now, things that we might need to be aware of. Currently, 2020 took away a lot of our freedoms. 2020 took us to places where we were locked down. It took us into this idea that we're not in control, that we're not in charge. That 4 was no longer a step. It became a prison at certain points. Granted, most of us were locked in our homes rather than like actual prisons, but you see the point that I'm making with that kind of energy. The 5 energy wants change, freedom, liberation. It breaks out of that box and says, this is who I am. This is where I'm going. This is what I want. I want to enjoy. I want to indulge in the world, right? I want difference. I don't want the same. I want everything and anything that is new, that is innovative. These are all wonderful energies, but what does that look like on the wider world stage? Everybody in some way, shape or form is going to want freedom and liberation. And if a lot of the things that were put in place in terms of our freedoms being taken away, in terms of, being told what we can and can't do, this is where 2020 could become quite a rocky year, because what you're going to see is the kickback. These things were put in place to keep us all safe. These things were put in place to keep us all well looked after. These things were put in place to flatten curves, to make sure that we were all in a good stead, for sure. I get that, but on the other side of it, how much is that going to be repealed? How much is it going to be peeled back? So the big question that now comes up is 2021. Freedom, liberation, innovation. We could be seeing new technologies, new ways of doing things. We could see brand new, like really advanced healing methods, ways of growing food, creating food. We could see a lot of this. We could see a lot of connection. We could see a big expansion of the understanding of not only connections between people, but also this idea of what it means to be governed from the top and what it means to be self-governing. We could see a lot of that, and the kickback may very well be that, you know, it starts to become a bit of an us and them. You know, you don't control us. We can make our own decisions. We can make our own choices. And the thing is, 9 out of 10 people, if they're left to self-govern, they tend to choose the right thing to do. You know, not because it's the right thing to do, but because everybody at base level is tapped into their own humanity. You know, you wouldn't necessarily go out of your way to hurt another person, you know, unless obviously there's things going on within you. Anyway, that's for another video and another debate. So what you're very likely to see over the course of 2021 is people looking to break out of the specific norms that have been imposed. You may very well see people wanting to change the rules, people wanting to find new ways of liberating themselves and also the people that they love, but also the masses. So you may very well see this kind of energy take place over then. 5 is a very restless energy. It's a very boisterous energy. It's lusty, sexual, passionate, vibrant. It's a number of the sensual world. So you could see a lot of this over the course of the 2021. You might see a lot of hedonism, whatever that means to you, come out. You might very well see people finding new this is the thing, I've said innovative like 3 times, but I can't stress that enough, because it's new, progressive, vibrant, passionate energy. You may very well see a lot of this. I think we're going to see a real advancement in ways that we can travel as well, because the 5 energy loves travel. It loves anything and anyone different. It loves anything and anyone that is foreign to what they know. People will want to try, more so than ever, people will want to try new foods, new food sources. I feel we're going to see a lot of this as well. Like, we recently had this meat-free burger thing come up. I think we're going to see a lot more developments in the 5 year over that kind of thing. I think we're going to see a lot, like a massive explosion towards health, vitality. I think we're going to see sports, all kinds of things around that. I think we're going to see big changes and big evolutions of. I actually feel like we might go in the direction as well where we're not necessarily looking at sort of like, oh, look at us, we're all focusing on the football league. I feel like it might sort of break apart, and you might see that the local leagues become a lot more important, or become a lot more, a lot more focus and attention is placed on those things that are happening locally, and you might see a lot of growth in those areas. I think there's going to be an explosion of health, fitness sort of stuff, and I don't think it's necessarily going to be because it's like, I need to get healthy, I need to look good. It's more going to be a case of, this is enjoyable, and if we can do it together, it's even more fun. So that looks like it's going to be great. But yeah, those are just some a few notes about the 2021 year itself before we go into your life path, your personal life path reading. So there is a link in the description box below. If you don't know your life path number, you will be able to find it. You'll be able to work it out, and trust me, I have dyscalculia, so if I can do it, trust me, you can. All right, just don't overthink it. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Now let's get into your life path reading for 2021. Take care, I'll see you soon. Hello, you beautiful life path 8 person you. Welcome to your 2021 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subber, I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. If you don't know your life path number, you can find a link for the video on how to calculate it on the link in the description box below. And also, before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks. Oh gosh, I'm throwing them all over the place before we even start. I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's have a look, see what 2021 has in store for you. So you've had the blurb about the year ahead. If you are a Life Path 8 or if you know somebody that is, don't forget to share. And also if you want to know about this, so what I have here is a whole bunch of stuff about your numerology and how it interacts with the year ahead. So let's get into it. So your life path is the number 8. The year ahead itself, 2021, is a 5-year. So what this provides you with is a combustible energy, that energy that has fire and grit and passion behind it. But also think of this year kind of like rocket launcher energy, combustible. It has the opportunity, like consider that this year is an opportunity that could really take you very far. What it's going to rely on is you being really bold and really brave. This could be a creative year, a constructive year, fiery, and it's a year to get after it. Get on the front foot. Anything that you've ever wanted to do, anything that you've ever wanted to create, anywhere that you've ever wanted to go and see, this is your year to go and do it. So the 5-year wants you to learn new ways to build your dreams, new ways to realize your goals, new ways to realize anything that you want, anything that you hope for, anything that you desire to create or to manifest. You have the energy that is there this year, but it's not going to be like it's quite an intense energy. It's quite a fiery energy and it's combustible. So you really need to be very proactive this year. You need to get after it and go after it, whatever it may be. This year, if you use that energy to your advantage, I promise you can make amazing strides. Oh, sorry. So find new sources of income and revenue. Find new ways of making money, whether this is starting your own business, whether it's gaining a second or a third or maybe even as many as you want income streams. Maybe finding new ways to invest your money, finding new ways to to use money in and finances in general, how to tap into that energy of prosperity and abundance. The year is asking you to, you've got to be bold, you've got to be brave, and providing you are, you can make some really amazing steps forward. Be open to trying new work, new ways of working. If you are currently employed, maybe this is the year that you strike out on your own and say, you know what, I'm going my own. You can go your own way. Maybe this is the year for that. Think about being brave enough to go for the big one. If you've got that big idea, if you've got that big energy, that big thing in your life that you think, you know what, one day I'm going to do that. This is your year. This is the year for you to get started, to get going. Now, the thing that you have working in your favor that none of the other life path numbers have, not even the master number vibrations, is that yours is a number that is already built for material wealth and success, right? Maybe the life path 22 actually is quite close to it. But the thing about the 8 energy is it's naturally expansive. It's naturally growthful, right? And if you've got that one big idea, because of that mix of fiery, creative, constructive energy, that energy of just going after it, of making it happen and being committed to making it happen. This year, whatever your big idea is, this could be the year that really launches it for you. So unlike any other number, this is a year, if you want to start a business, if you want to go after that big idea or that big thing in your life, you have the energy for it, unlike any other number out there. Sorry, allergy season. So be dynamic. This is a year where you've got to be dynamic, but use that energy. Make sure you use it, because if you don't use it, it will use you, and the chances are it will throw you around like a rag doll. Command and respect influence, right? So understand that you can command respect, that you can command people to see you, that you can be very influential this year. You could be very, very influential, charismatic, all of those things. Use it to your advantage, and obviously use it in ways that are constructive for everybody and not just for you. You know, don't be selfish or nefarious, because at some point it will likely bite you in the ass. Remember that 8 is the number of karma, right? It's got that sort of Mobius veil, so whatever you sending out, baby, you gonna get some too. Your challenges for this year: learn how to manage volatile people. If you've got a boss that runs ragged or runs over you, learn to manage people, learn to manage that person, learn to put things in place that will either curb their behavior or highlight that behavior to them, so that they kind of go, okay, that's a bit uncomfortable, I will adjust, even if it is grudgingly, right? The reason I say learning to manage volatile people as well is because one of the things that 8s are naturally born to do is to manage or to lead other people, especially when it comes to companies, when it comes to being an employer, all of that sort of stuff. If you learn to manage the difficult ones, managing everybody else is just easy, and it means all of the people that aren't necessarily volatile characters will have that much more respect for you. Learn to challenge authority in ways that grow you and prove you right. So if you are an employee, if you do work for someone else or for another company, this is the year where you discover how to interact. Imagine that this year is the year where you learn to discover how to rub shoulders with princes and how to rub shoulders with paupers, and to treat them both the same. This could be the year where you challenge authority, where you stand up for yourself, where you speak your mind, speak your truth, and ultimately it could be a year where you really demonstrate your backbone, really show people who you are. You could be a lot feistier this year than you've ever been, and what that combines into is a much more rounded character. Other challenges, you may want to push back. You might find this year that you really are kind of almost reactive, in a way. You might be like, yeah, well, and they're kind of like, oh my gosh, like, who is this new person? Are you okay? This is, discover your backbone. Now, the thing is about discovering your backbone is that means at some point you are going to be pushed, you are going to be challenged, right? The challenge for you this year is to rise up against those things and push back, right? But find ways that obviously don't get you arrested or fired. Differentiate between rewards and goals. And this is really, really important. You need to now find ways to switch your focus from what you're getting out of something to the journey itself, right? So what is the goal versus the rewards that the goal will give you, right? And sometimes it really is that. So yes, achieving your goal is going to give you financial and material security. That's wonderful. But what else does it give you? What else does it teach you? Focus on those things instead of the finances or the money, and everything else will come. So the blessings for this year, you have the power to create your own reality in ways that you probably haven't for at least about about 9 or 10 years maybe, because this combination only comes around once in 10 years, right? So consider that, and sometimes it's once in 12. So consider this as a window of opportunity. Blessings, you have the power to influence, you become a natural leader, you have the guts to jump in, right? That moment on the thing where, I think it's in the Simpsons movie, she says, when it gets to the scary part, speed up, but that's when it's the most scary, just do it. It really is that moment. So if there's something that you want to do this year and you're like, I don't know, I'm scared, I'm worried, that's the moment where you lean in. That is the moment where you when they say to you, if the car is skidding, what do? They tell you to steer into the skid. This is that time, all right? This is that year for you. If you're willing to ask and be spontaneous, you could make money, big money this year. Like the potential is there. What you do with that potential is up to you. If you come to this with a handout mentality, like, oh, well, it's just going to fall into my lap, chances are you'll get mediocre results at best. If you get on the front foot and you be active about it and you jump in and you lean in and you get stuck in, this year could truly bring you some results that you could never have even fathomed, right? You've got to put the work in. If you're expecting this just to show up on your doorstep when we talk about big money, big opportunities, you've already lost. All right, you guys know me by now. I'll give you it as it is. It ain't no, I'm not going to fluff it up for you. I love you, but I got to give you the tea. All right. Your key advice for this year: If you want to make it to the top, you got to get your hiking boots on. That is it, right? Everything in life is a mountain of sorts. How you climb that mountain, how you get over it, what you are willing to put in to scale that mountain, that is what truly counts. That is what truly matters. And this year, if you demonstrate that sort of grit, that sort of energy, you can make big things happen. And finally, go for your dreams, but have fun doing it. All right, if you can't have fun in the process, like, don't get me wrong, some things require us to be serious, right? But if you can't have fun on this journey, something is amiss. All right, remember that this year. With that said, let's get into your cards for the year ahead. So for January 2021, you get the Magician card. Look at that, right? All that power. And the first card out kind of sets the tone for the year. You got the Magician card. The Magician card is about your inner will, your willpower, your self-directed focus. It is a powerful card for creation. It's a powerful card for manifesting. This year can be exactly that for you. And straight out of the gate, you start with the Magician. So this means that January, this could be you saying to yourself, you know what, I'm not even waiting. I'm launching straight into this year with everything that I have. And it does look like you are kind of saying to yourself this year, you know what, in some way, shape or form, I'm going to the top. This is the year where my journey begins, and this is how it starts. All right, so let's couple that to give it some context. What might this be relating to or talking about? And you get the Four of Wands, right? So this could be about a relationship. This could be about a partnership. For some of you, this is going to be about a collaboration. Now look at this, right? The Four of Wands is about your foundation. It's about building that space, that castle. It's about finding that place that you feel like you are, you know, the ruler or the leader of. This comes to your work. It comes to your living situation. This is about you delving in, right? And not only that, the Four of Wands is about, it's a card of celebrations. This sees you, right, straight out of the gate. 2021 is going to be an exciting year for you, and it looks like you're getting good news about your work, about your profession, or maybe some sort of opportunity comes up about or around your personal business if you have one. If you don't, this is very likely to be about your job. It could even be that some of you are getting promoted, or maybe a different company headhunts you of some sort. But just know the way that you start this year is kind of, you know, like a bat out of hell. All right, for your February, you have the Chariot card. You's on fire. All right, so your Chariot card is fast, it's quick, it's dynamic energy. This is the power to achieve, the power to succeed. And whenever you see the Chariot card, this is exactly what you're doing. It looks like February is going to highlight to you just how far you've come, but it's also going to give you an opportunity to conquer some sort of long held fear, maybe something that you had struggled with, maybe something that you started learning that you never thought you would finish. It culminates here in February. So if you're taking any sort of tests, any sort of qualification based stuff, February is a massive month for you, and it means that you're going to pass. It comes with the Two of Pentacles, right? So this is about your money, it's about your finances, it's also about your decision making on a practical, grounded level. February, your mind is going to be quick, it's going to be sharp. February could be a time where you are either making an alliance or maybe even somebody is investing in you as an employee or as a business, but it does look like a power move is being made here in February, and this sees you setting yourself up certainly for the next 2 years in a financial sense, which is really exciting. For March, you have the Faith card, which is actually the Hierophant, but check this out, right? It's got all the symbols of the different faiths of the world around him. This is about where you put your energy. It's about what you put your faith and your trust and your hope into. This is also where you commit to something in a very practical or tangible way. So whatever you're starting, creating, signing, you know, finishing, culminating here in February, March will be the time where you start to see the real results kind of come off of it, which is really nice. I mean, you know, I like this card because sometimes it gives us the stability that we need to continually create the reality that we want. To couple that, you have the Four of Swords. So the first two months of the year are going to be really quick. March is a slowdown point. This is going to be where things kind of take a bit more of a slower pace, but that's a good thing. This is definitely a time for you to really think about meditation. Maybe this is you committing to something for the long term. Whatever you're starting in March is likely to culminate here in June. So this is kind of like into your mini future for now. But the other thing with the Four of Swords as well, it's about patience. So March could be a time where you are having to exercise patience about something, or maybe some of your plans start to see the light of day, but they're not quite growing exactly as, you're going to be like a firecracker. And maybe the plans that you make, in March, you're kind of like, well, it is growing, but it's not happening at the pace that I would like. April, you have the Strength card, right? So this is about you delving into your heart space. This is about you really connecting with what it is that you want, what it is that you feel drawn to, what and who it is that really resonates with you at this point in time. And this is about a partnership or a collaboration of some sort. So look at this, you've got two twos here, right? Twos are about partnerships, collaborations. Sometimes they're about opposition. This is a time, April is a time for you to really trust your instincts. April is a time for you to really, listen to your inner senses like never before. Pay attention to what comes up in your dreams. Pay attention to what your gut hunches tell you, to what feels like it is aligned with you or for you. That Two of Swords as well is very often it's about your intuitive leanings. Now this comes with the Strength card, so in some way this could kind of see you relying on your inner senses or your inner fortitude in some respect. I would say that. Also, March and April look to be possibly quite fertile times as well. So if you're looking to conceive or not looking to conceive, watch out for those 2 months. They're going to be your power months for it. May, you have the Tower card, right? So shocking changes, big upheavals, big moments of change, freedom, liberation, the kind of energy that rules the year that we're in, right? So 2021 is ruled by the kind of energy that is behind the Tower. Not necessarily the Tower card itself, but that kind of energy. And this has to do with the Seven of Wands. It looks like there's some sort of a battle on your hands in May. It does look like you might be fighting some sort of a battle. Maybe some of you are going through the process of emancipating yourself from an employer. Maybe some of you are going through the process of delving into looking at your nervous system or your immune system. So these are the two things that come up with this, because the Tower card would be your nervous system. The Seven of Wands is your immune system. So if you have anything like that in terms of health concerns and stuff, I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice, but if you are having any health problems or issues that come up or have a flare up in May, it's very likely to be to do with one of those two systems in your body. So that's something for you to really watch out for. On a mundane or practical level, this could be about you taking up a new sport, or maybe taking up or setting up something that that is very physical, very practical, very tangible. This is a year that's very favoured for IT, information technology. There's one specific person that I'm thinking of as I'm seeing all of these cards, and I know this person is going to be super excited. So if you are a Life Path 8 for the year of 2021, IT, technology, all of that sort of stuff, very favoured for all of you. For June, you have the Empress card, right? So this is great, right? This is a very abundant time for you. This could be a time as well where you're putting some sort of idea into practice or into focus. So whatever, March through May is going to be a time where things kind of take a beat, where it is that you have to step back for a while. But June looks like it's presenting you with some really nice energy. Now, to couple that, you have the Death card. it does look like whatever you did for work previously or whoever you worked for before, that is coming to an end, and it's a conscious decision. This could very well be the time of year where you guys are launching into your own business. Maybe you're launching your own business idea, where you're coming out of what's considered traditional or full-time employment, and this could be you saying, you know what, I'm going in a new direction. Come what may, I will make it work. So a very exciting and dynamic time for you. July. So July has been July, November, and I can't remember what other month it was. July and November have been months that tend to be connected to world events, and this card, the world, is very often the world, and it's the Devil card. I think July 2021, we are very likely to see either some sort of trouble, some sort of war maybe. It's definitely a possibility. It could be, you know, between the people of the world and the establishments that they're run by. July looks like a month where there's going to be some sort of kickback there. Now, I don't feel like this affects you personally, if I'm completely honest with you, but I do see you breaking away from the traditional system in some way, shape or form. Now, you know, that's going to be different for everybody. Your world card is basically saying to you, take time to think about what your next level is, what the next step for your life path actually is. And the Devil card is asking you to really think about what the cycles and patterns are that you go through, so that you're aware as you step into this new experience of life that you have. Judgment card for August. Little blast from the past energy. The other thing with the Judgment card as well, it always reminds, when it shows up, it always kind of says to you, things are about to change drastically from here on in, right? So this is interesting that we've got the world card here. So it looks like whatever's happening on the wider world stage, yes, it's affecting everybody, but this sees you kind of returning to whatever it is that you're working on or for. Then you've got the Ace of Swords to couple that, right? So the Ace of Swords is a new start, a new beginning, and it falls on the Judgment card. August could very well see you looking at something of a legal nature. Maybe this is you getting paperwork or documentation together for your business, for your work. Maybe for a select few of you, this could be where you are clashing with the employer at a legal level of some sort. It's definitely a possibility for a few of you based on those cards. Now, when it comes to you personally, it does look like you are hearing from, connecting with, or getting some sort of not necessarily kickback, but it does feel like you're reconnecting with either an ex of some sort. You know, somebody's coming back into your life, and I don't feel like it's necessarily a bad thing, but I also don't necessarily think it's a good thing. If I'm honest, it is going to differ for all of you. What I will say to you though is that for some of you, it does look like there's a contact from either a previous employer or maybe an old work contact. But one thing I will say to you is just be careful. That's a time for you to really think about what you're signing. With the Judgment card in close proximity as well, this could be somebody of an older nature, so like a grandparent, maybe a great aunt or a great uncle. This could be them transitioning out of the mortal realm. So, something for you to consider. Because you've got these cards here in June as well, it's very likely that it's going to be an older woman. So this could be a grandma, a great aunt, an elderly parent. I'm sorry to say, I don't want to give you those messages, but you guys know me. I never shy away from them because it's not enlightening or uplifting, but it's important that we're able to talk about these things. September, you have the Star card, right? So more tribe energy or action, but it also looks like some of you could either be traveling abroad. Maybe you are traveling long distance or far. Maybe some of you, this could be that you're going to the States if you already live in the States. This could be somewhere, that you're drawn to for either more work or for more collaborations. This is coupled with the High Priestess card, right? So this is going to be a grand reveal. So I don't know if this is to do with your personal business, or maybe it's to do with, something that is being left to you, but it does look like there may be either some sort of inheritance, maybe something that has been hidden from you that sets you up for the future. Remember, your High Priestess is hidden things revealed as well as your intuition. So September looks like a powerful month for those things, but it does look like there's something that has either been left to you or bequeathed to you that you didn't even know about. I feel like this will be money, maybe something that somebody's left you, maybe a portion of a company that you didn't even realize they owned. It's that kind of energy, you know. It's like something that is gifted to you that you weren't even aware of, that was, you know, that you were entitled to. October, you have the Devil card, double hit of that Devil card energy now. So October looks like a month where it's not just going to be a challenge. This might be where you are trying to move too quickly, all right? It might be where you're trying to force something and actually you're being asked to slow down. The reason being is the Ten of Swords. So, I mean, this is not an easy card, right? And on top of the Devil, it does look like there's some sort of physical pain that is taking place here. October is a time for you to really be careful with your back and also with your teeth, obscurely. And I kind of feel like whatever's going on in May health-wise, you may either be revisiting in October, but when it comes to please just look after your back, your teeth and your knees. When it comes to October, that is a time for you to really look after your physical self. No big sort of trips, no bungee jumping, nothing like that. October is a time for you to keep it really cool, keep it really easy. If you are having back problems, again, I'm not a medical professional, but maybe see an osteopath or a chiropractor. That could just be a time where you really need to watch out for your physical health. For November, you have the Temperance card, right? So November seems to be another month where we've got, you know, world stuff taking place. Your Temperance card is about what you're aligned to or what you're picking up or what you're delving into spiritually. For a lot of you, interestingly enough, Page of Swords, I feel like November is going to be the time where you take on your first employee. For those of you that are starting businesses, for those of you that are business owners, November looks like where you're taking something. Now, maybe it's in response to this because you're on a journey of healing, or you're looking after your physical self, and maybe November sees you saying, right, okay, well, in that case, I'm going to take on an employee, which is, it's not necessarily a bad thing. When it comes to the wider world stage, November seems like a time where we are either seeing this idea of borders and lines and stuff is going to start to break down. I think we're going to start this process of moving towards, you know, a much more sort of global citizenry, which is going to be really, really exciting and also really kind of changeable. You know, nobody knows what it's going to look like, not exactly. Then you got the Justice card in December, which means you are signing a contract or a document of some sort, and it's got the Sun, right? So December looks like a really fertile time for you guys as well. For a lot of you, I'm seeing marriage. I'm seeing a contract, or so for some of you it could be marriage. For some of you, this could be where a child is born or conceived. But December looks like an absolutely beautiful month. You're signing a contract or making an alliance or a connection that is going to make you truly, truly happy. Gorgeous. You're one of the only life paths as well, as I'm recording this, that actually pulled the Sun card. In all of the cards that I'm using, it was only Life Path 7 and Life Path 8 so far that have pulled the Sun card. So that's really intriguing to me. And then finally, for your key to the year, what is that final piece of information that you need to know to help you succeed? You've got the World card, right? The world really is your oyster this year, right? We talked about this in your numerology. If you want it, if you truly are willing, ready and able to go after it, to dig deeper than you've ever dug before, to go out there and be bolder and braver than you've ever been before, if you are willing to commit to what it is that you truly want to create, the year 2021 can launch you into the stratosphere. What you do with that energy, what you do with that pure potential is completely up to you, but you will be seeing physical, material, tangible results for all of your hard work and your hard effort. It's just going to require you to think about, if you want to be at the top, you've got to start thinking about, you know, like I said to you, if you want to make it to the top, get your hiking boots on. And the thing about the World card, This can represent authorities. It can represent, you know, that higher position or that change in pay bracket, that change in status. If you want it, it's all there for you. The question is, what are you going to do with it? With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic year. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.